Hello everyone. This time we will be tackling the table of specifications. So we will be using the copy that I uploaded already in the MS Teams, and here I am. I'll be sharing it with you. Here you go. So bakit nga ba mahalaga ang paggawa ng table of specifications? Let's see. In our lesson 4, which is part of our Unit 3, planning a written test, it is very important that we should create first TOS before we create a test. So, how do we make a well-planned written test? Madalas kasi, if you can notice, nagtataka yung mga estudyante kasi bakit mababa yung nakuha? There are many factors. Okay, there are many factors. Bakit mababa yung nakuha ng bata? It could be dahil hindi siya nag-review. Okay? Or hindi masyadong na-discuss? Or ano pa ba? Actually, there was researches wherein may mga reasons na sinasabi ang mga bata kung bakit, let's say, common observation of students on test questions. It could be hindi kasama sa lessons, masyadong mahaba yung lesson, at mga pagpipilian, kulang sa time, hindi maayos yung layout ng test, putol-putol yung mga sentence, ano pa ba? Minsan wala daw sa pagpipilian yung sagot. So it could be like this. But then, that is the reason why. Ang bottom line nito, we should be very careful in creating the TOS because first and foremost, when we are creating TOS, yun na yung first step kasi para maging mas malinaw, mas valid and reliable yung test na ititake ng mga bata. Okay? So let's have this. Desired significant learning outcomes, we have to set appropriate instructional objectives for a written test and to prepare a table of specifications for a written test. Now, you already had your experiences writing a lesson plan. And in lesson plan, meron tayong mga objectives dyan. The cognitive, the affective, and psychomotor. And it's very important. Now, for example na lang sa atin, okay, we are using syllabus. And on the syllabus, there are topics included per chapter, per unit. And then, andyan din yung time or yung number of hours kung gaano katagal ituturo yung mga lessons na yon. Now, these are basics. Okay, these are basics. Let's have this. Significant culminating performance tasks and success indicators. At the end of the lesson, you should be able to demonstrate your knowledge and skills in preparing a test table of specifications, TOS, reflective of appropriate instructional objectives. You are considered successful in these culminating performance tasks if you have satisfied the following indicators of success. So here are the tasks. Performance tasks, success indicators, select the right assessment objectives for a written test. In a set of competencies defined in the K-12 curriculum of a chosen subject area, you should be able to select the right learning competencies that could be assessed through a written test. So, sa paggawa ng test question, lalo na ang bawat test item, hindi lang siya basta na itanong mo yung concept doon sa lesson mo. No, no class, okay? When we are creating test items, we should make sure na i-measure niya yung bawat level ng cognitive natin. Kasi exam yun. So it is more on the cognitive aspect. Kasi hindi mo naman makikita yung psychomotor or yung affective nga in terms of directly, in terms of taking a test, lalo na kapag mga midterm or final exam, di ba? That is why it is more focused on the cognitive level. Design a table of specifications for a written test. Designed a test table of specifications for one quarterly test, covering the chosen competencies for testing in the K-12 curriculum document referred to for instruction. Okay, now let us move on to this. Bakit nga ba mahalaga na malaman natin ang TOS na ito? And why do we have to define the test objectives or learning outcomes targeted for assessment? It says here, in designing a well-planned written test, okay, it says here, I hope you can see it. in designing a well-planned written test, first and foremost, you should be able to identify the intended learning outcomes in the course where written test is appropriate to use. Okay? These learning outcomes are knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values. If you can think of it, we had the 5 learning targets. Okay? So belong siya dito. That every student should develop throughout the course. Clear articulation of learning outcomes is a primary consideration in the lesson planning because it serves as the basis for evaluating the effectiveness of the teaching and learning process. Ayan o, learning outcomes. So, dapat naka-align tayo sa learning outcomes before we create a test, before we create the table of specifications. Okay. Now, it says here, learning objectives or outcomes are measurable statements that articulate at the beginning of the course what students should know and be able to do or value as a result of taking the course. Meaning to say, learning objectives are measurable statements. Kaya nga, when you are creating objectives in lesson plan, dapat measurable siya. And if you can notice, pag nagpapacheck kayo ng LP, objectives pa lang, binabalik na yung LP ninyo, it is because it could be hindi measurable yung ginamit ng verb. Kaya kailangan measurable siya para ma-measure natin at the end of the lesson kung may natutunan ba yung bata in terms of the 3 domains, which is the cognitive, affective, and then psychomotor. Okay? Next, what are objectives for testing? In developing a written test, the cognitive behaviors of learning outcomes are usually targeted. For the cognitive domain, it is important to identify the levels of behavior expected from the students. Traditionally, ito na yon. Papasok na si Bloom's taxonomy. I repeat, papasok na si Bloom's taxonomy. Okay? Bakit nga ba? Bloom's taxonomy, it is a classification of thinking organized by levels of complexity. So, it gives teachers and students an opportunity to learn and practice a range of thinking and provides a simple structure for many different kinds of questions. So, from the very basic up to the complex one by level, si Bloom's taxonomy. Okay? And if you can notice, in your copy, we have the Bloom's taxonomy and then na-revise sa. So, revise Bloom's taxonomy. Ito naman, the revised Bloom's taxonomy, it provides the measurement tool for thinking. So, ang pinagkaiba ng Bloom's taxonomy kay revised Bloom's taxonomy is somehow the terminologies, yung structure, yung emphasis niya. Later on, I will be presenting that one to you, that revised Bloom taxonomy and then the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay? Now, we have here, however, Anderson and Crathwell, Bloom's student and research partner, respectively came up with a revised taxonomy in which the nouns used to represent the levels of cognitive behavior were replaced by verbs. Okay? From noun, which is the Bloom's taxonomy, naging verb siya nung ni-revise. Tignan natin kung bakit or papaano yung sinasabi ko dito. Ayan. So if you can notice, mayroong revision. From nouns, evaluation, synthesis, analysis, application, comprehension, and knowledge, si kikaasi natin kay Bloom, naging remembering, comprehension, applying, analyze, evaluate, and creating. Okay? Naging verb siya. So, why is it like this? Okay? Why is it like this? It is because the pathway to improve thinking is this revised Bloom's taxonomy. Now, just like what I said, from noun to verb, it is because thinking is an active process, therefore verbs are more accurate than the nouns. Okay? Knowledge is the product of thinking, and it is actually inappropriate to describe a category of thinking. And that's the reason why it was replaced with the word remembering. Knowledge, naging remembering. You can notice, okay? So, si comprehension, you can notice here, ayan, comprehension, or actually it should be in most cases, ang ginagamit na nila is understanding. Okay? And yan, application, applying, analysis, analyze, synthesis. Ito, if you can notice here, si synthesis, naging creating. Napunta siya sa dulo or sa pinakatuktok, which is the highest level of this revised Bloom's taxonomy. And then evaluation here nasa second to the last one or the top, the highest one, evaluate. So this one is the Bloom's taxonomy and this one is the revised Bloom's taxonomy by Anderson and Kraft-Wall. So I hope you got that. Now, taxonomies of instructional objectives. Tingnan natin. What is a table of specifications? Ito na, dito na tayo papasok. A table of specifications, sometimes called a test blueprint. Take note of that. Blueprint. That is the table of specification. It is a tool used by teachers to design a test. It is a table that maps out the test objectives, contents or topics covered by the test, the levels of cognitive behavior to be measured, the distribution of items. Ito ang laman ng table of specifications natin. Take note of this. Okay? May maps out the test objectives, andyan yan, contents, topics covered by the test, levels of cognitive behavior to be measured, distribution ng item, ng number, ng placement, and weights of test items in the test format. Ngayon, kakaiba-iba lang siya kung anong klase ng table of specifications yung gagamitin or gagawin natin para makita ang lahat ng mga ito. Okay? Mamaya magtaka kayo. Bakit ma'am, wala naman pong levels of cognitive behavior sa sinabi ninyo? Bakit nakalagay dyan? It is because it depends upon the types of the table of specifications na ginagawa kasi meron tayong iba't ibang klase. And later on, I'll be showing that to you. So it helps ensure the course intended learning outcomes, assessments, and instructions align. Okay? Napaka-importante ng paggawa ng TOS. It is because, tulad ng sinabi dito, para na siyang full package. Naka-full package na kapag meron kang TOS, alam mo na si number 1 dapat, siya, sa test 1, remembering or understanding. Itong unit 2, dapat ito yung laman niya. Okay? So, hindi ka na mag-iisip na habang gumagawa ka ng test items, mamaya, nung gumawa ka ng test, inuna mo si test, lahat ng 1 to 30, halimbawa gagawa ka ng 50 item na quiz or exam, okay? 1 to 30 na items is kay unit 1 mo palang kinuha, okay? Hindi na siya balance kasi ang tira na lang, kung sa 1 to 50 is 1 to 30 ay kinuha mo sa unit 1, ano lang tira para sa unit 2, unit 3? 20 items na lang. So, hindi siya balance. Dapat naka-align. Ilan ba ang kailangan mong items sa lesson 1 sa unit 1, lesson 2 sa unit 1, lesson 3 sa unit 1? Seems like that. Okay? So, it really helps us to construct a valid and reliable test items with the help of this TOS. Okay? Now, generally, let's move. Generally, the TOS is prepared before the test is created. However, it is ideal to prepare one even before the start of instruction. The teachers need to create a TOS for every test that they intend to develop. The test TOS is important because it does the following. Ayan. Tingnan na natin, ano nga ba ang naitutulong ng TOS? Let's check on this. Ensures that the instructional objectives and what the test captures match. Second, ensures that the test developer will not overlook details that are considered essential to a good test, makes developing a test easier and more efficient, ensures that the test will sample all important content areas and processes. It is useful in planning and organizing, and it offers an opportunity for teachers and students to clarify achievement expectations. So take note of this importance of TOS. Kasi if you can notice, napakahalaga ng paggawa ng TOS kasi from the very specific up to the complex ones, may talagang mahalaga ang TOS natin. Kaya you should know how to create TOS from the simple one up to the complex kind of TOS. Okay? Different ways. Now, let's move on. What are the general steps? Actually, kung isa-isay natin, medyo complicated talaga. Pero kaya nakalagay dito, I decided to use this PDF in order for you to, let's say, use this as your guide. What are the general steps in developing a table of specifications? Learner assessment within the framework of classroom instruction requires planning. So, first and foremost, ito yung first step natin sa paggawa ng TOS. Dapat, alam mo ang objectives ng test mo. Okay? Actually, you can check this one on the syllabus. Okay, sa syllabus. And apart from that, meron tayong NELCs. So, may mga guide ka na doon para malaman mo yung objectives ng test mo mismo. Now, let us read the content of the step 1. Determine the objectives of the test. The first step is to identify the test objectives. They should be based on the instructional objectives. In general, the instructional objectives or the intended learning outcomes are identified at the start. Ayan o. When the teacher creates the course syllabus, there are 3 types of objectives: the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive objectives are designed to increase individuals' knowledge, understanding, and awareness. Take note, cognitive, of course. On the other hand, affective objectives aim to change an individual's attitude, more on attitude, more on feeling, more on values. Ano yan? Affective. And then, of course, we have the psychomotor objectives, which is more on action, more on physical, more on motor skills. So, when a teacher teaches student, okay, kapag nagtuturo tayo, ano ba yung goal mo? Para lang ba ma-memorize ng mga bata yung itinuturo mo? O para pag-uwi nila ay mayroon silang mai-apply? Okay? Ano ba yung goal mo? Yung kapag tinanong mo sila, may ma-recite sila sa'yo? O kapag graduate nila, ay may magamit silang skills na nanggaling sa'yo? It makes a difference, okay? When you're a teacher, you should make sure that it's not only about the knowledge, yung nakukuha ng mga bata sa'yo. Dapat i-assure mo na yung tatlong ito ay nasa bata. That is the reason why I really prefer students with values than just the knowledge itself. Okay? At mas maganda pa pag yung tatlong ito ay meron sa isang bata. Okay? Nobody's perfect, but let us encourage our students to have these 3, not only the knowledge. Okay? Now, when planning for assessment, choose only the objectives that can be best captured by a written test. There are objectives that are not meant for written tests. For example, if you test the psychomotor domain, it is better to do a performance-based assessment. There are also cognitive objectives that are sometimes better assessed through performance-based assessment. So those that require the demonstration or creation of something tangible objects would also be more appropriately measured by performance-based assessment. In other way around, we should make sure that the objectives that we are creating really serve its purpose. Yung ginagamit nating measurable verbs sa paggawa ng objectives ay talagang i-measure niya pagdating doon sa loob ng ating lesson plan at pagdating rin sa paggawa ng ating test items. Okay? 2. Ano yung step 2 natin? Determine the coverage of the test. So, alam dapat natin na halimbawa na lang, kung gagawa tayo ng exam, we should make sure that ano yung hanggang saan yung scope na gagawin nating test. Kasi halimbawa na lang sa midterm, it could be chapter 1, 2, 3 or unit 1, 2, 3. Okay? Or it could be halimbawa na lang you have 54 hours. So divided by 2, 27. Okay, yung 27 na yun, may mga cases kasi na sa unit 3 ay sobra siya. Halimbawa, unit 1, 2, 3, more than 27 na siya. So pwede mo naman hatiin. Depende. At least naka-on track pa rin yung number of hours mo sa pagtuturo. Kaysa naman ni-rush mo or kinulang ka, seems like that, hindi nakat siya. Hindi siya on track. Okay? So we have to determine the coverage of our test. The next step in creating the TOS is to determine the contents of the test. Only topics or contents that have been discussed in the class are relevant should be included in the test. That is the main reason why sometimes hindi siguro nasasagot ng bata kasi hindi siya included, hindi siya na-review. Kaya napakahalaga. That's the reason why I'm making recorded video. Nagpa-recitation ako sa inyo. Nag-upload ako ng PDF at PowerPoint presentation. And it's just up to you kung paano mo yun i-utilize. Since you are already tertiary students, you should have the initiative na mag-browse. Apart from the fact that we are discussing, your instructors are discussing, dapat meron din tayong initiative na magbuklat, magbasa, at unawain yung laman ng ating MS Teams or yung mga lessons. Hindi lang siya nakabase sa kung ano yung tinuturo. Dapat we should also have the initiative to browse, to read more, para mas lumawak pa yung kaalaman natin. Okay? Third step, calculate the weight for each topic. I repeat, calculate the weight for each topic. Ito na yun. Once the test coverage is determined, the weight of each topic covered in the test is determined. The weight assigned per topic in the test is based on the relevance and the time spent to cover each topic during instruction. The percentage of time for a topic in the test is determined by dividing the time spent for the topic during the instruction by the total amount of time spent for all the topics covered in the test. Take note, ang percentage of time daw for a topic in the test is determined by dividing the time spent for that topic during instruction by the total amount of time. Nakalagay na po kasi yung kung gaano katagal yung time na gagamitin natin, time na i-spend natin per lesson. Ngayon, sa ating syllabus, of course, and the way on how you're going to calculate the percent of time is just we have to divide the time spent doon sa total amount of time. Tignan natin. For example, ayan. I'll show you. For example, a test on the theories of personality. Ayan, itong ipapakita kong example ay isang mga topics sa subject ng General Psychology 101 class. I don't know if you take this one already or not yet. But this, wag na kayong malilito kasi ito yung mga topics sa subject na ito. Mamaya magtaka kayo, saan po ginawa yan, ma'am? Any topics will do as long as it is in the subject itself. Halimbawa tayo, yung mga topics natin, may kaakibat iyon na time kung gaano katagal siya i-discuss. May time siguro na nade-delay dahil sa mga activities, but the bottom line of that is mayroong time. Okay? May time na may expected time sa bawat lesson sa bawat unit ng subject mo. Okay, we have here the theories of personality for General Psychology 101 class. The teacher spent 1/4 to 1.5 hours class sessions. As such, the weight for each topic is as follows. Tingnan natin. Okay, if you can observe on this one, wait lang. I-zoom out ko so you can check on this. Ayan. Topic, theories and concepts, psychoanalytic theories. Ito yung mga topics, if you can see, these are all the topics. And then, this one, topics, number of sessions, kung ilang sessions ang gagamitin per topic, time spent, gaano katagal, and then of course, the percentage of time. I'll move. Yan. Percent of time. Tingnan natin. So, sa theories and concepts, 0.5 class session. So, if, for example, 1 hour ang meeting time sa synchronous nila, kalahati. So, 30 minutes. Okay? 30 minutes yung katagal ng theories and concepts. After 30 minutes, isusunod na ni teacher ang psychoanalytic theories. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, may allocated time talaga sa bawat topic. So, hindi siya pwede na, halimbawa, sa 1 hour, ginamit mo siya buong theories and concepts, yun lang tinuro mo, ano na, kailangan mo na agad ng adjustment. Ma-adjust lahat, maaapektuhan lahat. Kaya nga mahalaga, di ba, isa nang gamit yun ng TOS. Kasi in each lesson, merong allocated time. So, may guide na si teacher na, dapat sa 30 minutes tapos na namin to. Dapat sa 30 minutes tapos na ito. Dapat in 1 hour, tapos na itong topic na to. See, may guide na siya. Next, this is already given. The time spent also. Let us check on this. Ito naman is isosolve natin siya. Paano natin siya isosolve? Sabi dito sa taas kanina, if you're listening, it says here, the percentage of time for a topic in a test is determined by dividing the time spent for the topic during the instruction by the total amount. So 30 minutes, ito class, sample lang to ha. Sample lang itong nilagay nila. So sabihin na natin na sa unit 1, ito yung mga topics. Pero these are not all the topics. Sample lang ito. Okay? Tingnan natin. So, halimbawa sa theories and concepts, 30 minutes daw ang kailangang time na i-discuss itong topic na ito. And then, ang total number of that is 300. So, i-divide natin siya. 30 divided by 300 is 0.1. I don't know if you can see it. 30 divided by 300, meron tayo 0.1. So, sabihin na natin na 0.1 yan. Ma'am, asan po yung 0.1? Of course, ito yon. 0.1 is the percentage. Okay? It's the percentage. It's the decimal place, I should say. Okay? Now, 0.1, hindi mo pa siya ilalagay agad dyan kasi ito naka-decimal place. Ito kasi naka-percent na siya. So, we just have to multiply that by 100 para maging in percent. Okay? So, 0.1 multiplied by 100, that is 10. Ayan na. Again, saan natin nakuha si 0.1? 30 times spent divided by total number of hours or minutes. Okay? So, if you can see, ang sagot dyan, 0.1. When we multiply that into 100 para makuha natin ang percent, we will get 10. Ayan yun, yung 10. Ganun din sa iba. Halimbawa na lang, si psychoanalytic theories, itry nyo i-compute sa sarili niyo 90, i-divide mo lang siya kay 300 times 100, 30 ang makukuha mo. Let's try. Please try it also. 90, okay? 90, ito yun, divided by 300, ilan ang sagot? 0.3. Ang 0.3, decimal. Multiply natin sa 100 para maging percentage, we will get 30. At ito yun. Ayan yun. And so on and so forth. Okay? So, yan yung step number 3 natin. Kailangan daw, makalculate natin ang weight ng bawat topic. So, if you can notice there, let's now move on to step number 4. The step number 4, determine the number of items for the whole test. I repeat, determine the number of items for the whole test. So, to determine the number of items to be included in the test, the amount of time needed to answer the items are considered. As a general rule, the students are given 30 to 60 seconds for each item in the test format with choices. For a 1-hour class, this means that the test should not exceed 60 items. However, because you need also to give time for test paper booklet distribution and giving instructions, the number of items should be less, maybe just 50 items. Ayan. So may guidelines na po tayo dito. Kailangan nating malaman ang number of items para sa whole test. So, for example, magpapa-exam ka ng midterm and then you have 1 hour. You can give 50 items kasi sabihin na natin na sa isang item, 30 to 60 seconds mag-iisip yung bata. So, kung 50 items yun, meron ka ng 50 minutes na gagamitin kung binigyan mo sila ng 60 seconds per item. Anong gagawin mo dun sa 10? Pwedeng distribution ng items, sasabihin mo yung instructions, ganyan. Okay? That's the fourth step. Kailangan daw i-determine the number of items for the whole test. Next, fifth step, determine the number of items per topic. Ito na yun. Ilan ang ibibigay mo kay lesson 1? Ilang item bibigay mo kay lesson 1? How about the lesson 2? Kasi mamaya, sabihin na natin na, madali yung theory and concepts. Kunin ko na lang yung 10 items dito. Tapos sa iba, kahit wag na lang. Hindi yun pwede. Hindi yun pwede. Why? Kasi that's the part. That's part of their lessons. Okay? Part yan ng lessons nila. So, kailangan, dahil itinuro mo, bigyan mo sila ng item na sasagutan sa lesson na yun. Hindi pwedeng laktawan. Okay? That is given. That's why TOS is very essential talaga sa paggawa ng test items. So, I hope nakaka-follow kayo. Tingnan na natin si 5. Determine the number of items per topic. To determine the number of items to be included in the test, the weights per topics are considered. Kanina, sinolve na natin yung weight, di ba? The time, yung allocated time sa bawat lesson, i-divide mo siya sa total number of hours, and then, you times 100, you will get the percent of time. Ayan na yun. Ito na siya. Okay? Now, thus, using the examples above for 60-item final test, theories and concepts, humanistic theories, cognitive theories, etc., we'll have 5 items, trait theories, 10 items, psychoanalytic, 15 items. Ito naman, kailangan nating identify kung ilang item per topic. As simple as that. Okay? Let us now check on this. So, it's simply as, I'll just open here para mas this one. We have here the topic, the percent of time, and then the number of items. So if you can notice, meron tayo dito, halimbawa, ang gagawin mong item sa exam mo ay 50 items. Ma'am, saan ko nakuha yung 100? I-add mo lang yan. I-add mo lang yung percent of time na na-compute natin kanina. Kung ilan lahat yon, that's the total percentage. Of course, 100. Okay, of course, 100. Number of items, ito yun, 50 items. Nakadepende na yan, okay? Nakadepende na yan, tulad ng explanation natin kanina. In 1 hour, it is preferable if 50 items yung gagawin mo. Kasi sabihin na natin na 60 seconds per item, okay na yung 50. So, kung 50 items yung gagawin mo, ilan ang ibibigay mong item per lesson? Dapat nakadistribute pa rin po siya. I repeat, dapat equally distributed pa rin yung items sa bawat lesson. So, ma'am, saan ko nakuha si 5, si 15, si 10, 5, etc. Number of items. Hindi yan gines. Sinolve yan. Paano natin isosolve? You can just check on this. Percent of time. This one. If you can notice, sabi dito, using the examples above, determine the number of items to be included in the test. The weights per topic are considered. Thus, using the examples above for 60-item final test, theories, concepts, ito na lang pansinin nyo ha, yung 50 items kasi ito yung ginamit nila. Theories will have 5 items. Let me show you. Okay. Okay, here we go. If you can notice, naka-percentage ito, right? Naka-percentage siya. Ngayon, kailangan natin yung decimal place niya na na-compute natin kanina. Napakadali lang yan, okay? Napakadali lang. We just have to, if you can notice there, 10, ibalik lang natin siya kay decimal place. And then, we just have to multiply with the total number of items. Ma'am, ano pong sinasabi ninyo? Ganito siya. 10 yan, tama? Kanina, 0.1 yan. Minultiply natin kay 100 para maging percentage kasi 100%. Hindi natin siya pwedeng i-multiply agad-agad dyan kasi mali ang sagot. Hindi na natin makukuha yung number of items. Ngayon, ibalik muna natin siya sa decimal place. So, 10, magiging 0.1 yan or magiging 0.10. Bakit po, ma'am? Ibinalik lang natin siya. 10 divided by 100 kasi percentage is 0.1 times, okay, again, 10 divided by 100 is ito siya, 0.1 or 0.10. That's the same. Times 50 is 5. Multiply na natin dito. So 0.1 multiplied by 0.1 or 0.10, same lang yan, times 50 is this one. Ganon din dito. So 30, ano yung 30 sa decimal? 0.3. 0.3. Mali ng point ko. Yan. 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1. Ganyan lang. Ganun lang siya kadali. Multiply by 100 para makuha si percentage. Divide by 100 para makuha mo yung decimal place. So, for example, yung pangalawa, si psychoanalytic theories. Please use your calculator. You can also use para makasabay kayo. Or actually, you can just compute it manually. If you are really sure, I just want to show you this computation para sa makasabay lahat. So 0.3, for example, 0.30 multiplied mo siya, 0.30 multiplied mo siya sa 50. So 15. Ibig sabihin po, ano yun ibig sabihin, ma'am? So sa theory of concepts, 5 item ang kukunin mo dyan. Depende na sa'yo kung anong gagamitin mo, level, pwedeng multiple type of test, pwedeng multiple choice, matching type, identification, depende na sa iyo. Basta make sure that every level sa bawat lesson na yan is malagyan mo yung level ng cognitive domain natin. Okay? Sa trait and theories, 10 items daw dapat. Sa humanistic theories, 5 items daw dapat. And so on and so forth. Okay? That's the 5th step, which is to determine the number of items per topic. Next, move na tayo with the different formats ng paggawa ng table of specifications. So, meron tayong tatlo. First is the one-way TOS. I repeat, one-way TOS. A one-way TOS maps out the content or topic, task objectives, number of hours spent, and format, number and placement of items. This type of TOS is easy to develop and use because it just works around the objectives without considering the different levels of cognitive behaviors. However, one-way TOS cannot ensure that all levels of cognitive behaviors that should have been developed by the course are covered in the test. So, if you can notice, the one-way TOS, very easy lang siyang gawin. Bakit? Kasi hindi, let's say, very basic lang yung laman niya. Ano yung laman niya? Content ng topic, ayan siya. Test objectives, ito siya. Number of hours, ito siya. Format and number and placement of items, ito siya. And of course, ito, number of percent of items. Okay? Very basic yung information niya. Si one-way TOS. Sabi dito, very easy daw siyang gawin, which is really true. Ang benefit niya, madali siyang gawin. Kasi basic yung laman niya. Pero ang cons niya, or ang disadvantage niya, hindi mo nakikita kung lahat ba ng level ng cognitive domain ay nalagyan. Okay? Anong ibig kong sabihin? Halimbawa, the cognitive domain, the remembering, understanding, applying, analysis, evaluation, and creating. For example, evaluating and creating. For example, ay nalagyan mo. Okay? Hindi mo masasabi na, halimbawa, sa one-way TOS, lahat ang ginawa mo multiple choice. Seems like that. Or, kahit naman multiple choice, pwede din naman pumasok yung depende yan. Depende yun sa creation ng test. Halimbawa, sa buong test, isang ginawa mo ay matching type. Imposible yun. Pero sabihin na natin na first part is matching type, second part is identification. Parang ganyan. Hindi mo masasabi na nalagyan mo lahat ng level ng cognitive kasi hindi mo nakikita kay one-way TOS. Unlike the other way around. Tingnan natin. Bago natin i-discuss yung pangalawang klase ng TOS, tingnan muna natin yung table. Ayan. Para mas maintindihan ninyo, tingnan natin yung content niya. This is the topic, the test objective, the number of hours spent, format and placement of items, number and percent of items. Okay? Meron tayo ditong, ito yung theories and concepts. Ito yung mga lessons kanina na napakita ko na sa inyo. Okay? Theories and concept, ang test objective niya, recognize important concepts in personality theories. Number of hours, 0.5. If you can notice kanina, 30 minutes. 30 minutes is kalahati ng isang oras. Iyan yun. Nakalagay na dito. Format and placement of items. So, the creator ng test, The test maker, for example, ang ginawa niya ay multiple choice. So, ang item is 1 to 5. Okay? Ang item niya is 1 to 5, multiple choice, at number of items, 5. Kinumpute na natin po yan kanina. And then test yung percent allocated niya. Okay? Inuulit ko po na na-compute na natin kanina kung saan natin nakuha yung 5. Okay? We just convert the 10 into decimal place and then we just multiply it by the total number of items ng exam or ng quiz. Okay? And then si 5 naman, where did we get that one? Si 5, yung sinabi ko, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina, the 10% is yung time. Okay? Yung time divided by the total number of hours times 100, yun yung 10. Huwag kayong malilito ha, huwag kayong malilito. Balikan nyo lang yung sinabi ko kanina sa inyo. Kung ano yung na-compute nyo doon, i-compute nyo muna, sundan nyo lang yung step para ando na yung step. Titignan nyo na lang. Okay? First, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Now, ito ay sample lang. So, if you can notice kanina, napakaraming lessons. Ang nakalagay lang sa table, 2. Kasi merong word na etc. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, halimbawa ito, 5. Ma'am, pag inad naman po natin si 0.5 at 1.5, 2 lang yan. Kasi hindi nilagay lahat. Okay? Hindi nilagay lahat. Sinampalan lang tayo. So, you can notice, meron tayong ditong total number of hours that is 5. And then, 50, yun yung items natin, 100%. Automatic, kapag nakalagay na dyan yung number of items natin, lahat, 100% yan. Okay? So, that's the first way of writing a TOS, first type of TOS natin, which is the one-way TOS. Ano naman ang pinakaiba niya kay, ayan, I'll just make like this para medyo mas makita natin ng buo. Ano naman po ang pinakaiba niya kay two-way TOS? A two-way TOS reflects not only the content, time spent, and number of items, but also the levels of cognitive behavior targeted per test content based on the theory behind cognitive testing. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Nakalagay na dyan, naka-indicate na yung level of cognitive domain. Okay? Nakalagay na yung level of the cognitive domain. Si remembering, understanding, applying, analysis, analyzing, evaluating, and then creating. Okay? So, sa theories and concepts, 0.5 hours time spent, number of percent of items, 5, and then 10% here. FCPM. Ano yung mga yan? Okay? Ano yung mga yan? Huwag po kayong malilito. Ano yung... I lost it. There you go. Ayan. So, ano yung mga yung FC na yan? These are the knowledge dimension. FCPM. FCPM. Inadyan, that si knowledge dimension, it guides. Okay? It guides us to know kung, of course, anong level, saang level ng cognitive behavior natin ilalagay yung item na yun. Okay? So, for example, F. Ano yung F? Factual. C. Conceptual. P. Procedural. And M for the metacognitive. So, si test maker, ang ginawa niya, theories and concepts. Okay. Si theories and concept, sa factual, ang nilagay niya, 3 items. Sa conceptual, 2 items. Ayan o, pansinin nyo guys. This one, 1.3. Sa test 1, 3 items daw ang nilagay niya. Kasi ang sabi dito, in level of cognitive behavior, item format, number, and placement of items. Sa test 1, 3 yung item na ibinigay niya sa theories and concepts. 1 to 3 yon. Sa number 4 to 5, 2 items, pero understanding na yun. It could be, sa remembering, siguro, what is, ganun, very basic. Tandaan, kasi pag F po siya class, F is factual. We have the 4 knowledge dimension. KB. Ito yung KB, okay? F is the factual, C is the conceptual, P is procedural, and M is metacognitive. Ano yung factual, ma'am? The factual are basics. These are the discrete bits of information about your lesson. Okay? About your topic. Now, ano yung C? Conceptual. Conceptual, medyo mas complex siya. This is complex and organized knowledge. It could be classifications, categories, principles, conceptual yun. Okay? Ano yung procedural? P. Okay? What is this P? Procedural, mayroon tayong clue. Procedures. It is more on the steps to take, paano gumawa ng isang bagay. We are going to determine when to do that thing. Seems like that. Okay? Seems like that. So, how to do methods. Seems like that. In procedural. Ano naman yung M? Metacognitive. If you can notice, nasa pinakbaba siya, but it means to say, itong po kasing KD, or the knowledge dimension, from concrete up to abstract. Okay? Kung more on remembering, factual yun. Okay? More on understanding, conceptual yun. Say, metacognitive naman, it is personalized understanding for the user. For example, sa paggawa ng essay, di ba? Hindi siya memorization. Pwede kang mag-defend. Most of the time, why is, di ba, mga ganyan. Or, do you believe that, and why? So, ilalagay mo dyan yung own reasoning out. So, metacognitive is somehow strategic and contextual. Take note of that. Si KD nakalagay dyan. And, ayan na. Andito na si level of cognitive behavior, item format, number, and placement of items. There you go. So, in here, si psychoanalytic theories, halimbawa na lang sa lesson na to, 15 items ang kailangan mong gawin. I-distribute mo yan ngayon sa bawat level ng cognitive behavior. So, if possible, kailangan mong ma-distribute yan sa bawat level. Hindi pwedeng, halimbawa, 15 items yung ginawa mo. And then, lahat nilagay mo sa remembering. Sa test 1 mo, 15 items agad. Number, halimbawa, nag-end ka sa 5. Nilagay mo 6, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 10 na yun agad. So, sabihin na natin na 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. So, 6 to 20, nilagay mo lahat kay remembering. Hindi siya pwede. Bakit? Kasi, ibig sabihin ba, knowledge lang, remembering lang, more on who, what, where, when, yung natandaan ng mga estudyante mo sa itinuro mo. Ganyan yung concept. Or dapat, ay dinistribute mo siya sa understanding, applying, analysis. Like, may situation, and then, ginamit nila yung kaalaman nila sa situation na yun. If you can notice, sa recitation nyo sa akin, halo-halo. May knowledge, may remembering, understanding, may applying pa nga analysis, okay, or analyzing. So, dapat nakadistribute siya. Yan ang meron kay two-way TOS. Baba tayo. Ayan. So, if you can notice here, the scoring, 1 point per item, 2 points per item, 3 points per item. So, in other way around, for example, sa TOS na ginamit namin before, we just don't include this scoring. Pero, dito nga sa ating book, in-include nila, pwede din naman natin include. Depende na yun. Parang nakalagay dito si 1 point per item, it is because very basic kapag knowledge. What, when, who, ganyan. Kaya siguro nilagay lang or kaya nilagay lang ang 1 point per item. Para kumbaga sa quiz B, you can notice. Sa quiz B class, kapag easy times 1, average times 2, difficult times 3. Kasi basic up to complex. Kaya nakadepende yung pointing system. Okay? I hope you got my point. Okay? And then, of course, meron tayong overall total, which is 5. Huwag kayong malilito ha, na nakalagay 5 dito. Kasi, tulad ng sinabi ko, hindi lahat nilagay yung lesson here. I'm talking here. 0.5 plus 1.5, that's only 2. Pero 5 nakalagay, it's because hindi nilagay lahat yung lesson dito. Pag nilagay lahat yan, at siguro it could be 5 here. Okay? And the number of items, total ilalagay natin. 20, pag inad mo lahat yung points. Okay, yung points ng item na sa bawat level na i-distribute mo. Take note of that. Si one-way TOS, ang nakalagay, topic, test objective, number of hours, format and placement, number and of items. Pero kay two-way TOS, nakalagay na sa level of cognitive behavior, naka-indicate siya. Okay, punta na tayo ngayon. Ay, ito. Before we move on to the third one, another way around, meron tayong another presentation ng two-way TOS. Ano yun? Si content nandito. Si content nandito. Time spent. Number of test items. If you can notice here, naka-indicate din siya per level. Kaya lang, if you can see, kanina si KD, andito siya. Meron siyang sariling column. Pero dito, hinalo na siya per level. Okay, ayan no. F, C, F, C. Huwag kayong malilito. F is factual, C is conceptual, P is procedural, and M is metacognitive. From concrete up to abstract. Okay? Ayan yung another presentation niya. But still, walang binago yung ano lang siya, yung KD. Kung saan nilagay si KD. Okay? Now, we have here, ayan, meron pala tayong legend dito. Tignan nyo na lang siya. Knowledge dimension, ito yung apat. And then, ayan, I is multiple choice, open-ended. Ibig sabihin, si test maker, ang ginawa niyang exam ay gumamit siya ng multiple choice at open-ended question. It could be essay. Okay, it could be essay. Actually, pwede naman po tayong gumamit ng iba't ibang mga types ng test. For example, gusto mong gumawa ng multiple choice, pwede siyang mag-fall ng understanding at applying. Depende yun sa paggawa mo ng test. Si matching, pwede siya sa remembering. Bakit? Kasi nandiyan na yung information. Ima-match na lang nila. So, magpo-fall siya ng remembering kapag match yung type. Kapag modified true or false naman, it could be understanding or applying. Yes, that's really true. Depende yon. Hindi yung basta modified true or false, napakadali. No, depends upon how you created the test item. Pag identification, pwedeng remembering lang. Okay? Kapag essay naman, medyo complicated yan. So, it could be analysis or analyzing. I hope you get it. Now, let's move on to the three-way TOS. Ano namang meron? Si three-way TOS, pinagsama lang si one-way at saka si two-way. One advantage of this format is that it challenges the test writer to classify objectives based on the theory behind the assessment. It also shows the variability of thinking skills targeted by the test. However, it takes much longer to develop this type of TOS. Tulad ng sinabi niya dito, medyo matrabaho nga lang, pero at least it is a very specific. Makikita mo talaga dito sa content niya. Okay? Anong meron kay three-way TOS? Content, my learning objective, my time spent, number of items, and then the level of cognitive behavior, andyan na din. Okay? Inuulit ko, it shows variability of thinking skills targeted by the test. However, it takes much longer to develop this type of TOS. Now, take a look at this. So, if you can see, content, learning objective, time spent, number of items, tas ayan. Okay? So, halimbawa sa theories and concept, ito yung objective niya, 0.5 hours, 30 minutes mo siyang ituturo, 5 yung items na kukunin mo, sa test 1, 1 to 3, sa test 1, 4 to 5, ganyan. Okay? And so on and so forth. Tapos nakalagay factual and conceptual. Then, if you can notice, sa psychoanalytic theories, ito yung learning objective natin, 1.5 hours, meaning 90 minutes yan na ituturo ni teacher. So, kung 1 hour lang kayo nag-meet sa isang araw, pwedeng the next meeting na yung kalahati ni psychoanalytic theories. Okay? And then, sa test 1, dalawang items daw, 6 and 7. Okay? Test 1, 2 items, 8 and 9. Ayan. If you can notice, it's there already. Okay? So, take note, in-indicate ni test maker dito sa multiple choice, test 1, multiple choice, and test 2 is open-ended. Now, mamaya, gayahin nyo na siya pag gagawa kayo ng TOS because you will make your TOS also. Hindi siya Like for example, multiple choice test 1. Hindi, it's not necessary na dapat sa test 1 multiple choice. It depends upon the creator or the maker of the test. Nakadepende yun sa inyo kung ano yung strategy nyo sa pagtuturo, sa paggawa ng type. Basta make sure na i-measure nyo talaga yung kaalaman ng bata doon sa lesson na iyon. It serves its purpose. Okay? So that's it for the three-way TOS. I hope you know about this one. Ayan, meron tayong answer the following questions. Just reflect on these questions. If you answered this one on your own, and yeah, if you can answer this one on your own, possibly naintindihan nyo yung lesson na to. Okay? So, again, it is very important that we have to plan a written test with the help of the table of specifications. That's it for this lesson, and thank you so much for listening. God bless everyone. Let's be safe. Bye. God bless everyone.